brilhar no dia a dia de cantar. Tem sorriso e a cuíca chora.
For this video, I'm using the Amaran 100D S-Lite and the Aputure Light Dome SE with a hex grid. The hex grid isn't super necessary unless you are trying to go for a moodier look, like I am. Sadly, both this light and softbox are no longer being sold, so I have some similar options in the description along with links to all the gear used in this video. For this light, I'm positioning it as close as possible to the food without being in the camera shot. I have it at about a 45-degree angle to the food and angled down from above. If you have a beautiful kitchen with tons of natural light, that's great. However, I don't, so I'm opting to use a black backdrop. It's easy to use and also helps control the lighting in the room. If you choose to use a black backdrop, I'd recommend wearing a black shirt so you blend in. Setup for this one is super simple. Just place it behind your counter or table and give enough space to move about while also keeping the edges of the background out of the frame of the camera. As for your camera, really any will work. You could use a phone, a DSLR, mirrorless, cinema camera, whatever. What's important is that it can record at 60 frames per second, which isn't a big issue because most cameras nowadays are able to. You'll also need a tripod in order to position your camera above the food and keep it steady while you cook. You can get these for pretty cheap on Amazon. Set the camera to film at 60 frames per second to allow for some creative slow motion in the editing room. I won't slow everything down, but filming it at that frame rate gives me the ability to if I choose to do it later. If your camera has the ability to, set it to manual focus. This is important because with constant motion, the camera won't know what to focus on and autofocus might ruin your shots. And in order to capture high quality audio, you'll need to use a shotgun mic. You can either mount this to your camera or have it on a boom pole directly above the food. And you'll notice in this video I'm using a monitor. While not super necessary, it is useful to clearly see what you're doing and ensure the food is in focus the whole time. Finally, you'll need good cooking equipment. I'm no professional chef, so I don't have all the crazy equipment, but if I were to pick one thing that is crucial, it would be ensuring you have a good looking cutting board. This cutting board looks really nice and is super affordable. As for filming the video, the goal for filming the cooking process is to capture a diversity of shots for everything that you do. For example, if you're cutting an onion, start the camera far away. Then part of the way through cutting, bring the camera a little bit closer, move it above, bring it down. However you move the camera, make it clear that the perspective has changed. When making this video, I found I was moving the camera and repositioning it about 3 times for every part of the cooking process. In addition to changing your camera angles, change your focal length on your camera to have both wide and close-up shots. Having a diversity of angles for each part of the cooking process will bring the video to life and keep it engaging throughout. Another way to spice up the video is to have a variety of different movements on camera. This could include chopping, spinning, flipping, or anything creative that you come up with. Finally, I'll show you how to do cooking magic. These are my favorite shots to get because they are the most engaging and also the most fun to do. Each magic shot takes a bit of planning and creativity, but I'll show you the basics for how to do it. First, you'll have your food uncut in a certain spot, and the next you'll have your food cut, where the food was before you cut it. Add some motion to make it look like the food fell apart, and finally you'll need a clean shot with nothing in it. For this you'll need to have your camera sit perfectly still, which is easy to achieve with the tripod. While getting these 3 clips, you actually don't even want to touch the camera after you click record. This is because you run the risk of moving the camera's original position. So I'd first start the camera, film the first part, move out of the way to get a clean plate, then film the last part, all without touching the camera. To avoid errors, film both the beginning and the end several times. Also ensure that everything in the shot, from the position of the cutting board where you stand and the food, is all the same. It really sells the effect. Before we start editing, to not have this video drag on forever, I'll only share how to do basic cooking magic. However, I'll be sharing YouTube shorts on how to do each effect in the clip at the beginning of the video. Subscribe and look out for those over the coming weeks. In your editing software of choice, bring all your clips into a timeline. From there, start ordering the clips in the order you made the food. Because I doubt you made this meal in reverse, they're probably mostly in order. The way I approached my edit was trying to tell the story of the cooking process. I wanted to show all of the prep, cutting, and major moves. However, I also cut out parts that I felt dragged on or showed more than what was necessary. A good rule of thumb is, if it doesn't add to the story you are trying to tell, cut it. When editing cooking videos, the key is to have really good pacing. You'll want a mixture of really fast shots, slow shots. For those that really don't know how to pace a video, I'd recommend pulling a song into your timeline and editing to the beats of the song. Once you have all your footage in order, go through and cut out anything that doesn't have motion. When I made my edit, I cut right after I started moving and edited the second the motion slowed or stopped. Once you have the base edit complete, let's think about adding some speed ramps and cooking magic. Speed ramping in DaVinci Resolve is super easy to do. All you have to do is right click on your video, go up to retime controls, and then find the point of the video that you want to be super slow. Go down to this triangle and click add speed point. Then for this shot I want to slow it down, so I'm going to lengthen it. Slow it down to maybe 25%. And I filmed this in 60 frames a second, so I should only really go to 50%, but I'll show you a trick to overcome that issue. And actually I'm going to speed up the first part just to add a little bit more spice. See how that looks. Kind of looks super awkward, so I'm actually going to trim the front a little bit more. And it's like a super rough jump to slow-mo, which might be the effect you're going for. For me, it is not the effect I'm going for, so I'm going to go up to keyframes, come over here to the keyframe curves, select it, and for me I like to open up the panel completely. But here is our animation right here, and as you can see it's super linear. It'll just cut and it's super awkward, so what I'm going to do is click this, ease in, ease out, and expand both sides here. Now let's look at it. It's a lot smoother. And as for the trick that I told you about before, DaVinci Resolve has a cool feature called retiming. So we're going to come over here to retime process, go to optical flow, motion estimation, and do AI speed warp better. This will actually slow your computer down. So what I will do is right click, come up here, click render in place, and click render. And what this is doing is baking all the effects and everything that we did to it into the video, so make sure you have your speed ramp dialed in. Okay, now that my video is done rendering, I realized that my timeline was in horizontal resolution, which is a huge rookie mistake, so I just changed it to vertical to continue to this next part. So play it through, make sure it looks okay. I think that looks great. If you thought this video couldn't get any spicier, I'm about to prove you wrong. One thing we can add is a zoom as the speed ramp slows down. So what I'm going to do is come up here and set a keyframe on zoom, go to the part where things start to slow down, and then zoom in. Let's look at that. Oh my gosh, that looks so awkward. Over here in our keyframe curves editor, you'll notice that it's super straight, and that's why it looks so awkward. So to fix that, I'm going to just select the end point here and add the ease in and out. And then I'm going to take this little curve handle, shift, select it, and drag it all the way here. Now if we play that back, it kind of shoots in, it starts fast and slows down, which looks way better. Okay, now for some cooking magic. So with this simple clip, I have the steak spread out, and my goal was to bring the knife down, smack it, and it would magically turn into a pile of steak. So, like I said, here I have my first shot with the steak where I'm lowering the knife to smack it, and then you'll see me cutting it because I don't want to move the camera, and then I make it into a pile, and then I have my end shot where I smack it again. Now if I do it right, I should have a clean cut. So what I'm going to do is find a good part where I smack the steak. Let's just do that. Boom. I'm going to cut it there. I'm going to go all the way to where I smack it again. And you'll note that I tried to keep my body in the same spot as before to the best of my ability. Sometimes you can't, but with the quickness of these edits, it's not a super big deal. So let's find another point that looks good, and I'm going to create a cut. Now I'm just going to find the part where these match. Okay, so I come down, touch, right there, cut that, boom, okay, and then frame by frame, boom, touch, right there. Now if we look it over, boom. That is an example of how to do some simple magic. Now that your video is edited, you're going to need to use sound effects. So for sound effects, use the ones naturally captured from the shotgun mic. But if you want to spice it up even more, throw in some whooshes and impact sounds from stock sites. I use Envato Elements for all of my sound effects. Another great site for sound effects that's pretty popular is Ocular Sounds. And that's pretty much how you do it. So the difference between what I've made and what you will make is your creativity. So have fun with this, get creative, do some fun magic, and enjoy making cooking videos.